Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Disney News Talk Live. Hey everybody, Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you once again for all the Disney Parks news from coast to coast, Walt Disney World to Disneyland. So great to be a part of your weekend, and thank you for being a part of ours. As always, it is a tremendous honor to have any of your listening ears. It means so dang much, and hopefully you are ready to settle in for some Disney Parks news that is definitely making headlines this week. Everything from Disney Genie service debuting at the Disneyland Resort earlier this week, plagued by opening day problems, unfortunately, and all kinds of issues that bubbled up due to the technical setbacks, we'll call it. Definitely a story we are going to jump into here in a bit. Also, Disney Live Entertainment and Spectaculars, plus so many changes that are coming to the Disneyland Resort theme parks in 2022. We're going to have a complete rundown for you so that you are all prepared, so that you are all ready for 2022. In addition to that, Disneyland has covered up the sexy Jessica Rabbit in a detective's trench coat and fedora. We heard it was coming. It is now happening. So now we will officially be able to show you what that looks like, not just concept art, not just the idea on paper, but now we will learn in person and in reality what this looks like, this makeover and this storyline change at Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin for Toontown at Disneyland Resort. And Star Wars Dinner Theater, it was something that was supposed to be at Disneyland Park at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and then, guess what happened? It got canned and was instead repurposed for Walt Disney World and will be a part of the hotel for the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. So we're going to be talking about that, exactly what that looks like, exactly what that was going to be for Disneyland, and then, of course, what it will be for Walt Disney World. And we are going to be talking about Epcot's Festival of the Arts. It's returning in January, and it includes some new goodies for you, so can't wait to share that. Lots of news to get to, lots of stories to talk about. But before we get there, as always, we like to remind you that this is a place where you deserve to be rewarded. Yes, yes, you deserve to be rewarded for watching and for participating in this broadcast. All you got to do is leave a comment underneath this very video on our YouTube channel, The Kingdom Report on YouTube. Head on over after the live video posts. So obviously, we're News Talk Live. So after the live video is all over, you can leave the comment underneath this video. Uncle Scrooge is the phrase that pays this week. Uncle Scrooge is what you would leave underneath this video. And between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, that is when you have the opportunity to leave that comment. So you have a couple of days here where you're able to leave the comment to win yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug. All you got to do, leave that comment. We will reach out to you if you are the winner. You will be randomly selected, and we will get you your favorite color mug on the way and heading to your home. We also want to thank the last week's winner and congratulate them. Is there somebody that ended up leaving last week's comment in our Disney News Talk Live program? And guess what? We reached out to them as the big winner, Niam Robinson from Toledo, Ohio. Congratulations, Niam, for winning your very own Kingdom Report mug. Like I said, you too can get yours just as soon as you leave the Uncle Scrooge comment underneath this video right after the live show. And if you're watching on demand, well, then you can leave that comment right away, can't you? All right, so we appreciate you being a part of the broadcast. And like I said, as always, we go to great lengths to make sure you are rewarded. That is the very least we could do. So from there, I want to bring on the Kingdom Report's very own Gared. Hassel. Gared, buddy, a very happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you, and happy Saturday to our fantastic viewers. The holidays are almost here, like Christmas right around the corner, New Year's also around the corner. It's a great day. I'm very excited to be with you all, at least audio-wise.
At least audio-wise. And we'll be back on video form next week for Kingdom Report Live. So for those folks that have been asking, and we have been getting asked, where's everybody? How come we can't see people? Well, guess what? We do Disney News Talk Live from time to time, especially when we can't get everybody together, as a way to still cover all of the news and all of the stories of the week, and then really try and elevate everyone's opinion that is a part of this show and a part of the channel. So we turn it on over to our viewers. That is what this broadcast is all about. So very much a participatory show, very much a broadcast that is dedicated to your opinions, your Disney Parks experiences. So we focus everything around not just the news, but your reaction to the news. So your participation in this broadcast is key to its success. So we always look forward to your feedback. Leave it in our comment section, whether you are watching live on Facebook or YouTube. We want to make sure that you understand your participation is everything that drives this type of show. But we will be back next week with Kingdom Report Live. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni will be joining us, and you can see all of our beautiful ugly mugs on camera once again, as we will be bringing you the show from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District in beautiful Burbank. So don't you fret. I was going to say fet, but that's not a word. Don't you fret. We'll be with you next week. So everybody calm down. It's coming back. I promise. It's always something that we love doing, but unfortunately, especially during the holiday season, it's very hard getting everyone in the same place at the same time when families compete for your attention and destinations compete for your attention, and it's a very busy season. So, as always, Gared, very grateful that you could be a part of the show.
I'm glad to be here. Family is, you forget family. Disney comes before family. No, I'm just kidding.
That's how it works.
Yeah, but hello to you, Douglas. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. But yeah, it's the holiday season. It's time of coming together, and I guess this is how Wade, you and we come together with these wonderful people. Because how often do you get to just nerd out and talk Disney all day long? I love it.
It's my pleasure to nerd out. It's my pleasure to talk Disney. And hello, Ralph, Terry, Douglas, Iceman, everybody joining us for the show today. Like to kick things off, as always, with kind of our leading questions for the season and for the time. And that this week is, what's on your Disney Parks Christmas wish list? So for 2022, what would you like to see come to the Disney parks? Whether this be Disney World, whether this be Disneyland, is there something you would like to see done? Is it a policy you'd like to see instituted? Is it a ride you'd like to see built? Is it a restaurant you would like to see open? What's on your Christmas wish list for Disney parks going into 2022? Gared, do you happen to have anything on your Christmas wish list?
Absolutely. It will never come true, though, and that is, again, bring back the Osborne lights. They were such an iconic and amazing show and experience. It's both, because it happens for hours, and you could stay there for 4 hours, and you'll never see the same song twice. It is simply amazing. If you don't know what we're talking about, back in Hollywood Studios, before Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge, you had the Streets of America, and back there you had, during Christmas time, they would decorate these facades of streets because they used to shoot movies and shows back there, and they would have dancing lights on them that were synchronized to music. And this was not just like what you'd see in the neighborhood on one house. No, this is probably almost the size of Galaxy's Edge, just having lights everywhere, all different decorations, dancing. And I would love for that to come back in a certain degree. I don't know, maybe put it on Sunset Boulevard by Tower of Terror, put lights on Tower of Terror and make it dance. Like, I love the projections, but if you put lights on there, that is a feat of accomplishment, and that's what I would love. I'd love that. And then also bring back rocket rods at Disneyland, because before they got rid of it, I was tall enough, but then they're like, "Oh, Gary, you're not tall enough." Yeah, we're shutting it down. So bring back either the People Mover or rocket rods, or do something with that area, because I think Disneyland deserves a People Mover. If Walt Disney World can do it, even after the track like catching smoke, Disneyland can do it far better, because that Tomorrowland is 10,000% better looking, even if it does look kind of beat up. Because
I like your way of thinking.
Yeah. People Mover and Osborne Lights. Simple as that. That's all I need.
How funny, too, because that was on my list, was the overhaul of Tomorrowland at Disneyland was on my Christmas wish list. So please fix Tomorrowland at Disneyland Park. And then the other thing on my Christmas wish list would also be to bring the People Mover back in some capacity to Disneyland Park. So, it's funny. We have like-minded ways of thinking about things, don't we?
Yes, indeed. Man, Tomorrowland. I think we've been discussing Tomorrowland makeover since the show began 2 years ago. So maybe one day our voices will be heard from the executives or something.
My goodness. Well, you tell us, what's on your Disney Parks Christmas wish list? What would you like to see? Whether it's East Coast Disney World, West Coast Disneyland, what belongs in the parks that isn't there right now? Leave it in our comment section. And as always, if you're watching this on demand after the fact, we do look forward to hearing your voice too. Make sure to leave the comment, as we do like to go back and respond to you following the broadcast. So if you're somebody that happens to catch this, and that's the majority of the audience, they all tend to catch things after they are live and they can watch it on demand. And we understand it's convenience, and so we are here for you, and we love hearing your feedback. So if you have an opportunity to drop a comment underneath the video, if you're watching on demand, please do so. Like I said, it will be seen, it will be heard. All right, so Gared, earlier this week, Disneyland ended up bringing Genie Plus to the hallowed grounds of Walt's original Magic Kingdom. The Genie service is officially with us.
Yes.
And, sir, it didn't go so hot.
I heard that, and I saw that, and Genie's supposed to be pretty magical. From what I heard, it was more like Jafar Plus, not Genie
That's
Plus.
right. Jafar Plus. Yes, please. Yeah, it's it had a hiccup or two, was a bit of a headache.
Or two.
Or 50, and was a bit of a headache for the frontline cast members. Unfortunately, they had a lot to deal with this past week. We have the full story for you, and let's not waste any more time. The Genie service has arrived at the Disneyland Resort. The following comes to us from Fromers.com. They write, in October, Florida's Walt Disney World rolled out its paid version of the formerly free Fast Pass system, now called Lightning Lane. The Disney company had delayed expanding the new fee system to California's Disneyland Resort, but as of Wednesday, December 8th, the Genie is out of the bottle. Genie Plus and Lightning Lane have arrived in California. Vacationers at Disneyland's two theme parks will now be asked to pay $20 a day, $5 higher than in Florida, to access appointments for shorter waits for rides using the new Genie Plus feature, which is activated using the resort's official smartphone app. 3 of the resort's most popular rides are not included in that $20 fee. People who wish to wait in the shortest lines for Disneyland Park's Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Disney California Adventure Park's Radiator Springs Racers and Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, will be charged between $7 and $20 per person per ride to access Lightning Lane. That's on top of daily admission, which in California now tops out at $224. The traditional lines, called Standby, remain free, but now their progress will be slowed to give priority to guests who have paid extra for Lightning Lane. Disneyland's version of Genie Plus advertises one major bonus that Florida's lacks: unlimited photo downloads, including on-ride photos. Lightning Lane, which converted a beloved complimentary service into a profit center, has been a lightning rod for controversy, to say the least. Its Florida rollout was marred with confusion and snafus. Fromers documented many of the early issues as they were reported by guests. The rollout in California was even more chaotic, with widespread reports of a total failure of the Disneyland app that forced Disney to suspend Genie Plus sales and issue refunds. As that technological disaster unfolded, guests also cried foul over a perceived inequity of wait times. I expect those hiccups to eventually be resolved, the writer says, but the Genie Plus basic design remains problematic for many. In Frommer's own on-the-ground tests, we found the system to be unintuitive and often frustrating. Last week, we published a story that followed one longtime Disney regular as she struggled to navigate the system's baffling interface. Frommer's has full advice about how to negotiate Genie Plus and Lightning Lane, but I can boil the essential principles down to a few essential tips, the writer says. Number 1, don't buy Genie Plus if you arrive at the park late. Guests start snapping up ride reservation time slots as soon as they arrive, which pushes time slots later and later in the day, because you can't use a second Genie Plus Lightning Lane reservation until you've redeemed your first one. You could wind up with hours of waiting time, devaluing your purchase. Number 2, as soon as you use one Lightning Lane reservation, snag another for a ride that's available soon. The best way to maximize Genie Plus is to stack reservations, booking one after another. Try not to book a time slot that's hours in the future to get the most bang for the buck. Keep your reservations rolling. Number 3, don't bother buying Genie Plus unless it's a busy day. At Disneyland, though, most days are busy. The The guests who do go to Disneyland tend to live more locally than guests at Walt Disney World do, and so I expect, he says, the reception to be much different in California. Many Disneyland visitors will go to the parks multiple times a year, so I think they are much less likely to feel the pressure to pay extra for short lines. Will lightning lanes strike out on the West Coast? Once again, our many thanks to Frommers.com for that story. It's a very interesting time, Gared, mainly because there's so much happening with the holidays and there's so much happening with the phased reopening of Disneyland, and then on top of that you throw the Genie service in, which completely upends everything that people were used to at the Disneyland Resort and the theme parks. And now you have this situation where virtually everything is charged for if you would like that previously complimentary access. That was Fast Pass. Granted, Max Pass was something that was in effect at Disneyland for a little while before the theme park shut down. But now we are seeing as the Genie service comes into being, and then on day one automatically has all of these setbacks, all of these technical issues. They were giving out refunds left and right. They were doing everything they could to try and rectify and fix the situation. And this goes back to something that we've talked about on Kingdom Report Live many times. Every time there is an IT related situation where IT is affiliated with the launch of something, whether it be at Disneyland or Disney World, every time IT crumbles under the pressure and cannot keep up with demand, cannot manage to handle what's happening. And this is something that, they had experience with already, having launched at Disney World, and has been in effect now. So they knew what to expect. And yet here we are in this place where, once again, Disneyland even had the gift of time and the gift of research and the gift of learning on top of everything else, and bringing this into reality here at their theme parks. And IT one more time was not prepared.
Yeah, it amazes me for a company as large and as successful as Disney that is trying to move forward with technology. That was one thing when Bob Iger went in, was that I want to innovate, I want to use more technology so that way we are not falling behind our competition. And this just happens one after another. Part of me thinks they should have maybe gone with, hey, we are going to select 50 random guests and offer them this service just to see how it works with 50 guests. Like, everyone would get it, but just see, does it work? And then maybe you do like a trial run system, or you do it late at night, be like, hey, from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., we invite you to come out here and try out the service. But it's shocking that this did not work. And my heart goes out to the guest relations team, because I heard that they had lines hours long, both on the phone and in person. And guest relations, they are getting yelled at, they are being torn apart, and their answer is, I'm very sorry, can I offer you a refund? So my heart goes out to the guest relations team. But with Disney World, Genie Plus makes a lot of sense, kind of. But Disneyland, seeing as how it's a lot more of a locals park, it's a California West Coast park, you could have easily kept the Max Pass, raised the price to say $50 even, and it still would work, or some kind of the old ticket system. But yeah, it's just so sad and hilarious to see how, like, the Disneyland Genie service just crashed on its first day, and it's like, oh boy, well, at least we can only go up from here, right?
Well, I somehow don't think that raising the Max Pass to $50 would have been something that would have been somehow better than this, but it's certainly something that, now having the alternative, which is this Genie Plus, along with the lightning lanes and stuff like that, it's something that they clearly didn't seem to be prepared for, even though, like I said, they had the gift of time. And now here they are trying to patch together all of the the fallout, I guess we could call it, from the event itself from day one. Now, day two and beyond has been much better. But this goes back to the thing that I was saying. Every time IT has to be relied on for a day launch, it does not fulfill the requests, the requirements, the need that Disney demands, that the fans and the consumers of Disney demand. This is something that goes back to my time working with Disney. I was in senior leadership for a long time. Every time we had a launch that needed IT to be a part of it, I was concerned because I knew then, even within the last 10 years, that anytime we had to rely on IT to be a part of a launch and to do their part, to do their end of things, I knew it was going to be a struggle. I knew somebody was not going to follow through. I knew that there was going to be very unhappy guests at some point in the process. And every single time it happened. And it even got to a point, Gared, where there was a situation over like a holiday weekend where something was launched in the Disneyland app and Max Pass wasn't working for people, and it was this really bad situation where photos weren't showing up, and that they get for I guess free with Max Pass. It's not free, but they pay for it. But they were getting their entitlements for photos, and the photos weren't showing up, and there was a bug in the system basically, and IT said that, and they said that we're going to launch a new patch for that next week when the next update happens. And I remember saying to them, well, what happens between now and next week? And they said, well, you'll just have to continue doing recovery and trying to help people. And I said, this is affecting thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just a one-off. This isn't just somebody that had an issue. This is affecting tens of thousands of people and will affect tens of thousands more day by day.
Yeah.
And so I had to share this with them, and they didn't seem to get it. And there's a lot of great people that work in IT at Disney, and I don't paint everybody in one swoop of a brush, because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But this has to do with leadership, and it comes from the top. And every single time we have this problem when IT is responsible for a launch of something. And this goes back to ticket sales online. This goes back to, launches for the sake of the magic key. There is always some sort of major setback, and it's very disappointing to see. On top of that, we also learned this past week. So you remember how last week I mentioned to you, Gared, that out at Walt Disney World, I was noticing how there was a significant amount of marquee times that were being presented on rides that were not at all accurate. And they were being reported in the Genie service as those inflated times. And I would go on the rides, and I wouldn't wait anywhere near the amount that was posted.
Yeah.
So I shared that with us, with you and everybody else that was a part of the broadcast last week, because it really bothered me, and I saw it from park to park, and I noticed it, and it waned on me, and I thought, man, this is not cool, because I'm noticing that going into Soarin' at EPCOT, 45-minute wait turned out to be 4 minutes. I noticed at Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom, a 35 to 40-minute wait ended up being 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And this went on, and so I was picking up on this. I started to notice people on social media, the Disney fan media, also started to pick up on this on both coasts. And then Dateline Disneyland for Mice Chat, they picked up on it this week when the Genie service launched, and they started presenting the following, and they've got the receipts. So I wasn't taking footage. I wasn't clipping anything and having various amounts of collateral that I was going to bring back to show people, because I was more just surprised that I was coming across this each time. And of course I wasn't, because I'm thinking optimistically that Disney wasn't trying to be malicious, that there was just really something accidental to it all. But Disneyland, look at what Dateline Disneyland has found. On day one of the Genie service launched, Haunted Mansion Holiday listed standby wait time of 50 minutes in the Genie service. You switch over in the same app to the map. Okay, the map that breaks down the wait times. This is all reported through the same mechanism.
Yeah.
And Haunted Mansion is actually only 20 minutes. But in the Genie section, 50 minutes, and encouraging you to buy that lightning lane right underneath it.
That's right. You got to get it. You got to get it.
You got to get it.
Yeah. When there is that kind of it's the same app. It's not like, oh, this is a third-party app that does it on behalf of normal people. Like, when you can't even get the same app working together, that's an issue. Or like, whether it's standby line is 20 minutes for the Genie, or if both are 50, it doesn't matter. But when there's when they are different, that is a big issue. And because people, when they have the Genie service, they're going to look at that right away. They're not going to go to the map. They're going to look at that and see, oh, 50 minutes, we got to get it. And then in a way, like, they're either being tricked or misled. I think misled is the better way, where they are assuming that it's longer than it actually is. When, oh, you check the map, it's 20 minutes. Yeah, it's exactly what you said, and it's frustrating. And if I was like, oh, I'm going to buy the Lightning Lane, and it only took me 20, and I thought it was 20 minutes, I would be beyond upset, because you want to use a Lightning Lane, which can, for a ride like Rise of the Resistance, $20, and it's only like a 20-minute actual wait. I would be beyond frustrated, because I just spent $20, which I could have used elsewhere, whether on food, drink, or something else. But it's going to cause a lot of frustration and confusion. And I hope that, as you said, that the leadership teams get on this and like try and fix this, to either where they both say the same times and the people have to discover that it's actually a shorter wait time, or put the actual time in there. Because if not, it's just going to get people more and more upset, and more complaints, and causing more and more guest relations cast members to be upset and not want to come back to work, because you don't want to work where you're being yelled at all day. That's not a fun job. People work at Disney because they want to create magic, not get yelled at. If they wanted that, they could go to almost any other job.
Not to be the support team for IT that should have done the correct job the first time. Haunted Mansion Holiday, you see here from Dateline Disneyland, they have the receipts where, like I said, on the right-hand side of the screen, you see that Haunted Mansion Holiday is 20 minutes. That is via the map function of the Disneyland app. On the left-hand side is the Genie service function, where it completely inflates the time and then but suggests very heavily that, you really should book the experience through Lightning Lane now. And, look at, if you just put the money out there and you pay $20 for Lightning Lane, you can just blaze on past this 50-minute wait. You don't have to worry about it. We move on from there. It's a Small World Holiday. Dateline Disneyland quoted much the same thing. 35-minute wait on the Genie Plus end of things. And then if you switch on over to the map and do a breakdown of wait times, 5 minutes.
30 minutes. That seems to be the separation. So if it says 30 minutes, just subtract that, and that's the actual wait time. So if something says 60, it's actually 30, vice versa, because that's what it looks like here. And
unbelievable.
I don't even know if I've ever seen Small World Holiday at 35. I've always seen it as like 20 or less, because it's constantly moving. That's you're stealing the holiday magic by putting 35 minutes when it's 5. Man, oh man.
Yeah, pretty shocking. And then Indiana Jones, much the same thing. 75-minute wait posted in Genie. Guess what? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So you have the option of purchasing an individual Lightning Lane for those mega attractions. So if you wanted to go on Rise of the Resistance, you could buy a one-time Lightning Lane for that mega ride. So that would cost you anywhere from $7 to $20 based on how busy the day is and how big the demand is. So it is dynamic pricing. And then if you were to purchase the Genie Plus service itself, it's $20 flat per person per day, as I mentioned in the news story. That covers the majority of rides in Disneyland that would have had Fast Pass originally. And then you also have the option to still wait in line for Rise of the Resistance, if you would like to, because they started doing the standby functionality of that here not too long ago. But anyway, Dateline Disneyland finding that Disneyland is also inflating the wait times when it comes to the Genie side of things. Now, I don't want to say that Disneyland's doing this intentionally, because we don't know that. Nobody knows that. But it's very concerning to me that I saw this also happening at Walt Disney World a week and a half ago. And it was very clear that what was being reported in one place was not accurate in reality. How this continues to happen is beyond me, but the fact that it's happening is really bothersome, because people pay a lot of money for these trips, Gared. It's not fair to be posting something in one place and then having the reality be something dramatically different. And I'm cool with like the 10-minute zone, the margin of error, of 10 minutes. I'm cool with that. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you're saying something's 75 minutes and it's 20,
that's an issue. That is a huge issue. And people spend almost, I would say, 2 to 3 times what they would spend at Disneyland, because at Disneyland you can go there for a weekend and get to enjoy everything. Disney World, it's usually 4 to 7 days. That's how I would see the typical vacation out there, and you're spending astronomically more because unlike Disneyland, where you can go to any other place in Southern California to eat, you're sort of locked into Disney World because if you're relying on their transportation and their hotels, Disney costs a lot more food wise. Like you want a pizza, you want a slice of pizza, $5. You want a whole pizza, sometimes $20. So I this is just going to be frustration on top of frustration, and they really need to get this worked out. Yeah, having that separation of 55 minutes. Yeah, that's not a buffer window. That's not a no, 10 minutes is I think doable. 20, I'd even give 20 minutes just for the sake of like we ran into some kind of a hiccup. No, but 55, that is a shame. And on Indiana Jones, the pinnacle of Imagineering. Oh, gosh.
We gotta do our best to push people away from getting on that attraction without the lightning lane, because it's something that they absolutely need to plunk down money for. It's the only way they can experience it from now on. Don't you think for a second it's going to be 20 minutes?
Just do single rider. Like single rider, if you don't want to sit together, solves the problem. You'll wait 5.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Well, now we turn it on over to all of you when it comes to the Disneyland Genie service, since it's now in our lives. Do you plan on using it? Is this something you're going to tack on in a future trip? Is this something you plan on buying when it comes to mapping out your vacation? Will you participate in the Genie service? Granted, the Genie service is complimentary, so I know it can be very confusing for folks. We get a lot of questions about it. Well, wait a minute, do I have to buy it? You don't have to. You can continue doing standby wait times wherever you go inside of Disneyland or California Adventure. However, the Genie service, it's there for everybody on the Disneyland app. It's got the tip board. It's got the breakdown of what's going on throughout the day. You can select things that you want to do. It'll try and prioritize that for you. But it also has the Genie Plus end of the service. That is the thing that you would put money down for the sake of getting your lightning lanes, which are essentially what FastPass used to be. And then you have the one-off purchases of like the extended end of Genie Plus, which is the lightning lane purchases that are isolated for Rise of the Resistance, Web Slingers at California Adventure, and Radiator Springs Racers over in Cars Land. So all things that I like to clear up for people because I know it can be very confusing. We get a lot of questions about this.
No, it is. Yeah, if you've never experienced it, or if you've gone to Disneyland in the past and it's been a long time, this is very intimidating, especially at a place like Disneyland, which I think is more guest friendly than Disney World. Because Disney World, with my Disney experience and everything, it's very, very complicated. You got 4 parks that are separated by miles. Disneyland should be almost seamless and easy. So yeah, I think the Genie service, very friendly and helpful. So you can help, hey, how do I do this? But I don't want to pay a travel agent. You can line up your day. But then when you add Lightning Lane, Genie Plus, and all the other bells and whistles, it can get complicated. So people, do your research and ask a friend. If someone's experienced it, ask them. Don't feel like you have to go at it alone like Indiana Jones. You can do it with some help. Indy always had his friends. He had Short Round. He had, his dad. Salah's always there. You have your friends out there to help you with the Disneyland Genie service for sure.
So sound off. It is your time. Will you be participating in the Disneyland Genie service? Since it's now in our lives, we don't really have another choice. There is no more complimentary Fast Pass. Is this something you are going to be using? Let us know in our comments section. As always, we are here to elevate your thoughts, your opinions, because they do, in fact, matter. When we get back, we are going to be talking about all of the things that are coming our way in 2022. Live entertainment is returning. Spectaculars are returning. All kinds of shows are being reinstalled, and new things are being offered next year in 2022 when it comes to the Disneyland Resort. Can't wait to share that with you because it's all coming up next year on Disney News Talk Live.
Dance around, Frosty the Snowman was alive as he could be, and the children sang he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. Hey, I heard that Frosty could really play. He even taught me cats a few things. Come on, Marco, show those up.
Disney News Talk Live, the best. Who doesn't love themselves a little bit of the Fat Cat Swinger group? Oh, they are fantastic. I am a big fan of that band and what they can do over at Disney California Adventure. If you happen to be swinging on by the Festival of the Holidays at DCA anytime soon, they have a very limited schedule, but man, if you get to be there on a day where the Fat Cat Swinger band happens to be playing their hits, well, you are in for a real treat. Hey, I asked you before we went to our little break there, specifically when it comes to the Disney Genie service at Disneyland, is this something that you are going to be using? Is this something that you're going to be participating in as we march forward, since it's now a part of our lives? And you definitely sounded off. You came our way with the comments. We always appreciate it. Before we dive into that, though, Lisa, she's making tamales right now.
I want some. I love tamales.
She's tuning in while making tamales, so.
Can you mail it to us, Lisa? We'd appreciate it.
Lisa, send us some tamales, will you? It's the least you could do. I mean, it's a holiday season treat that really I could eat the entire year and could replace every meal with. So, Lisa, please think of the children. By children, I mean us. Think of the kids.
We're just big children.
That's right. That's right. We are kids. So, thank you, Lisa, for tuning in while making your tamales. Clips fan says, "Hi Wade, any info on Genie Plus add-on for Magic Key holders?" So, Clips fan, this is being utilized as basically any other guest. So there's nothing special for Magic Key holders in this situation. It really is just a, hey, you're going to pay $20 too. So there is no special, 1 year clump buy that you can do, buy it all in bulk, if you will. This is strictly a, when you get to the park, if you want to add it on to your reservation, you're able to do that for the $20 fee. You're also able to do the same thing like everybody else is when it comes to individual Lightning Lane selections. You want to go on Radiator Springs Racers? Sure, no problem. You're going to pay whatever the dynamic pricing is for that day, between $7 and $20. So that's how things are working out right now for Magic Key holders. Maybe in the future, they will give Magic Key holders a bulk buy rate. But I think as long as reservations are in effect, and as long as they are not allowing Magic Key holders to come when they'd like, which has become the big problem over the last few months, I don't think they're going to be offering that, because then you're going to be demanding even more if you've bought in bulk the Lightning Lane and the Disney Genie Plus privileges. So I can't see that being something Disney would do. You think, Gared?
Yeah, no. With Magic Key holders now being limited as to when they can go, like, it's like, hey, you can go whenever you want, but not really, because everything's sold out. It would be amazing if they said, hey, if you are a Magic Key holder, you get like one Lightning Lane per visit, or something to that degree, or you get to use Genie Plus for free 1 out of 5 visits, or something to that degree. That would be amazing, because you're paying extra money so that you can go pretty much whenever you want, depending on which tier. And it's not working very well. I'd be frustrated out there. So, like, annual pass holders across the board, Disneyland, Disney World, there's a lot of frustration going on. So it'd be nice if they had extra perks for any kind of annual pass holder.
I did get my swag box, the Magic Key swag box that if you bought in the first 60 days or whatever the time frame was, you got a 60th anniversary swag box from Disneyland Magic Key, and it was nice. It was a lot smaller than what I thought was coming.
So 7 years past the 60th.
Yeah, it's been a while.
70th and the 60th, but go on.
Right. Yeah. Well, it was the 65th, or it was the anniversary box, and it was like trying to celebrate what was just here and all of that. But anyway, it was nice to get a button and a lanyard. That was cool. Yeah. And for a while I didn't think it was going to show up at all, so it was a nice surprise when it finally did.
They should just give out, you come to the park, you get a free beignet, just something like that, or like you get like a mint julep or something. Like, give food heals everyone. Give food to the Magic Key holders over perks, and I think everyone would be happy. Be like, hey,
they do it with the popcorn buckets.
No, but you don't get the popcorn inside. You just get discounted popcorn.
Right? Yeah, it's not free. Yeah, but it's it's $1 or what have you for the sake of little extra perk there.
Yeah, that popcorn's pretty solid, actually.
Yeah, and it only costs pennies. I used to run Walt's popcorn cart for a number of years, and Boy, the markup was like 400%. It was fantastic. Anyway, we move along here. So, Clips fan, thank you. Calvin says Rise of the Resistance was shown as 85-minute wait time. We only waited 51 minutes when we got to the BB-8 stop. See, yeah, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're projecting out ridiculous wait times that are not rooted in reality. This is very bothersome, especially in the Genie app, when now they are charging people for the privilege of skating by the rest of the line. And if it's not reality, then they're not advertising things correctly.
Yeah, no, they're not. And again, look at that. 85 minutes, only waited 51. That's a 30-minute separation of time. So just take whatever time they have on there, subtract 30 minutes, and you will have a more realistic time.
You're right.
But
There's something about that 30-minute. You're right. There's a 30-minute window here on all of these.
But hearing the difference of, oh, you're only going to wait an hour versus an hour and a half. I don't know why, but something in your brain goes off. You're like, I'm not gonna wait an hour and a half. No, I'll do an hour. It's like an episode on TV, but an hour and a half. No. We don't do an extra 30 minutes.
No, we don't. Yes, Calvin, thank you. Terry says, we'll continue good old-fashioned standby lines until it's clear Genie is working like the old Max Pass system. Terry, very responsible, very smart. Yeah, I would wait and see too, especially because the wait times, and yeah, I love the fact that the Disney fan community is like circling the wagons, the Disney fan media. They're circling the wagons and they're pointing this out, and they're all now keeping track of these wait times and what's being posted. Now it's out there. Now people are starting to figure it out and realize it, and now they're calling Disney on it. This is great because if this was, like I said, it's happening from coast to coast. So if this was some sort of intention to inflate things for some reason to try and boost revenue, that is very shady. That is very seedy. That is not appropriate. That is very disrespectful of your consumer base. I don't want to say that that's what's happening because, again, we don't know for sure, but it's very unusual to me that this would be happening on both coasts and repeatedly across multiple big-name attractions.
Yeah. Terry, first off, fight the power. That's right. Standby line. Please do not try and hold your breath for the Max Pass system because it may or may not come back. Disney is not a company that is known for changing their minds. If anything, they'll alter things, but they will not go back to the past. But yeah, wait in the line. Like you said, it really is shady when they're putting these times out when they don't exist. I'm not sure if they have these third-party apps where it has like a map of Disneyland or Disney World with actual times, but I think in the future you're going to have guests like you, me, or even Terry that are developing apps that say, hey, here are the actual wait times, and as a guest you can say, oh, it's updated, it says 55 on there, but I actually waited 20, giving you a more realistic time. Because if Disney can't be realistic with their times, then maybe we need to take it into our own hands and do something about it. And then maybe Disney will be like, oh crap, we can't really do that anymore because this is going to upset anyone. And just like Miss Pam, hell will freeze over before she buys. I'm gonna take it as it. Yeah. It's gonna be a cold day. It's gonna be a cold day.
Miss Pam fighting the power also. And Anne says we might get one for one person in the family just to get the photo pass. Now, yeah, as a reminder for everybody that, as mentioned in the story too, the photo pass option, you get unlimited photos with the California version of the Genie Plus service, whereas Walt Disney World, it's an add-on. You have to pay extra for photo pass. So, it might be totally worth it.
I feel like PhotoPass is used so much more at Disney World that having it be a part of it might actually make it more worthwhile and drive more people to purchase it versus Disneyland. Because I know that there's PhotoPass there, but it's not as iconic and doesn't stand out like it does at Walt Disney World, where you have 15 people, 15 PhotoPass down Main Street taking a picture of you in front of the castle. It's different.
Yeah. Great point. And Iceman says, I will never pay extra for something as unnecessary as Genie Plus. Calvin follows up by saying, everyone flocks to Rise of the Resistance after the rope drop. There's no wait time for everything else. I walk straight to Indy, the Indy ride, even after 8:30 a.m.
That's
Great
right,
advice. Yeah, make Indy your life. Yes.
Yeah.
first and foremost. Steve says, I might use the Genie California system for photos. So, Steve, much like it sounds like Anne, you're somebody that is interested in using the system for photos. $20 for the sake of getting all your photos. I mean, that might totally be worth it, especially because if you use every photographer you come across for, all kinds of shots and all kinds of different lands and areas, $20, not so bad when you think about it.
Yeah, the photos, if you want to buy, say, a large, we'll say 8.5 by 11, and then some 4x6s, it could cost $20 just for those. Versus, hey, I'm just gonna spend $20 and I have unlimited, and I can print them off myself at Walgreens or CVS for a fraction of the price. That's a great idea. Use it for the photos. Don't use it for the rides.
That's right. And Anne follows up by saying that already exists. Touring Plans does that. I believe referring to your, idea of fans should gather together and track wait times and follow what's really being projected out there. Anne, you're absolutely right. For a number of years, I used the Touring Plans paid model for the sake of understanding how to go about booking my Walt Disney World trip, on what days I should go to which parks, all of that. Things have gotten a little muddied, I would say, in recent years, especially due to the reservation process. It's a little harder to predict things. But you're absolutely right, Ann. Thank you for that point of order. It's very true. Touring Plans does that. I believe that there are a couple of other planning websites out there that do things that are quite similar and track these things. So all various outlets that we can check out if we are so inclined. Moving along here, we do have some great news when it comes to 2022 at Disneyland. Folks, if you haven't heard, World of Color's coming back, Fantasmic's coming back, Disney's Electrical Parade is coming back, and we indeed have a replacement for the Fantasyland Theater. Mickey and the Magical Map was there for the last number of years, and now something else is coming in its place. Very much looking forward to finally having some action back on that stage. Let's not waste any more time and jump into that story. The following comes to us from the Orange County Register. They write, a Lion King musical stage show coming to Disneyland offers a new adaptation of the ancestral story of how a young lion cub becomes king of the jungle, told with singers, dancers, and drummers. The Tale of the Lion King show will move from Disney California Adventure to the Fantasyland Theater at Disneyland in 2022. Disneyland hasn't set a date yet for the start of the Tale of the Lion King show, but don't expect to see the performance take over the Fantasyland Theater before February, when the Celebrate Gospel event will be calling the venue home. The new Lion King show highlights a lineup of new and returning entertainment, festivals, and special events coming to Disneyland and California Adventure in 2022. The modest-sized Lion King show that played on the banks of Paradise Bay in the World of Color viewing area will likely expand to match the scale and size of the Fantasyland Theater. During the show's DCA Limited run, a traveling troupe of storytellers retold The Lion King in a contemporary style through story, song, and dance on the Palisade stage overlooking California Adventure's Paradise Bay. The cast of 18 performers in African-inspired costumes formed an ensemble called the Storytellers of the Pride Lands. The theme park production featured new musical arrangements of popular songs from the original film, which celebrated its 25th anniversary in 2019. At the time, the theme park stage show served as a movie tie-in for the photorealistic computer-generated remake of The Lion King. The new score incorporated elements inspired by the original compositions. Vocal performances were paired with a percussive soundtrack provided by a troupe of drummers. Set on the African plains, the story told the tale of the battle for Pride Rock after the death of Mufasa, the Lion King. In the tale, the exiled Simba, the lion cub, must figure out how to grow up and take back his rightful throne from Scar, Mufasa's murderous brother. And here's a rundown of what else is on tap for Disneyland and California Adventure and Downtown Disney in 2022. The Celebrate Gospel event that took place at Stage 17 in DCA's Hollywood Land in 2019 will be moving, as mentioned, to Fantasyland Theater in Disneyland in February. The one-day event at DCA will be expanding its run of dates when it makes the move across the Esplanade to Disneyland, and Celebrate Gospel will feature live choirs, including local singers from Orange County choirs, and the event will be included with the price of admission to the park. Fantasmic, World of Color, and the Main Street Electrical Parade will return in spring 2022 as part of the phased reopening of Disneyland and DCA. The COVID-19 pandemic put fireworks, nighttime spectaculars, parades, and live shows on hold during the phased reopening of Disneyland and DCA due to the large crowds they attract. Since the parks returned, Disneyland has brought back fireworks in time for the 4th of July and resumed the first parade as part of DCA's Oogie Boogie Bash in early September. 2 seasonal events put on hold by the coronavirus closure of DCA will return in 2022 with a pair of festival lineups that include food, entertainment, and Disney characters in festive attire. Disney California Adventure will host the Lunar New Year event on January 21st through February the 13th, and the Food and Wine Festival on March the 4th through April the 26th, both events that we mentioned to you last week on this very broadcast. DCA's Lunar New Year event celebrates Chinese, Korean, and Vietnamese cultures and traditions with multicultural performances and foods, while DCA's Food and Wine Festival features local, celebrity, and Disney chefs who offer free culinary demonstrations on the weekends and paid signature events throughout the event. Disneyland will double the number of limited-time after-hours events in 2022 as late-night parties tied to Valentine's Day, Disney Villains, and Star Wars return to the parks after an extended coronavirus closure disrupted the schedule in 2020. Sweethearts Night will run on February 1st, 3rd, 8th, 10th, and 14th at Disneyland. Villains Night will take place on March 8th and 10th at Disney California Adventure. And Star Wars Night will run on May 3rd, 4th, and 27th at Disneyland. The Disneyland After Dark separate admission events offer special nighttime entertainment, character meet and greet opportunities, and reduced wait times for the limited capacity after-hours parties. Disney also postponed the D23 Expo fan convention planned for 2021 at the Anaheim Convention Center until 2022 due to ongoing concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic. The rescheduled D23 Expo will be held September 9th through the 11th, 2022 at the Anaheim Convention Center. The world's biggest gathering of Star Wars fans will return to the Anaheim Convention Center on May 26th through the 29th in 2022, and the 2020 Star Wars celebration was canceled due to the global impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the end is near for Disneyland visitors tired of huffing and puffing along the nearly mile-long tram route between the parking garages and the front gates. The parking trams that have been out of commission since March 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic. Tram service between the Mickey and Friends and Pixar Palace parking garages and the front gates of Disneyland and California Adventure will return in early 2022. And Downtown Disney will undergo a major renovation that will see the popular Earl of Sandwich Shop, the former AMC theaters, and other stores demolished to make way for a new mid-century modern designed addition to the Anaheim shopping mall next to Disneyland. Work will begin in January 2022 on a multi-year project that will reimagine the Downtown Disney Outdoor Shopping Center. The work will take place in the west end of Downtown Disney, once envisioned as the location for a 4th Disney Hotel project that was canceled in 2018. And of course, Walt Disney Imagineering will reimagine Mickey's Toontown with new interactive play areas for young children as part of the launch of the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Dark Ride at Disneyland in 2023. Mickey's Toontown will close in March 2022 for construction and won't reopen at the Anaheim theme park until sometime in 2023. The new additions will include a water play area and fountain at the center of the reimagined land, dubbed Centennial Park, and a dreaming tree with a grassy play area. Once again, thank you, Orange County Register, for those words. So what are you looking forward to the most, Gared? Are you looking forward to Downtown Disney getting revitalized? You're looking forward to World of Color coming back? You're looking forward to Toontown getting overhauled? What's on your list?
Out of those three that you just mentioned, World of Color is definitely the most exciting just because it's a show unlike any other that Disney has put on. Like you can say Fantasmic is stellar because of the water dancing, but for them to turn an entire lagoon into a show that is a work of art and has pyrotechnics, lights, lasers. World of Color sounds exciting. Downtown Disney, very cool. It's going to be nice to have like some more area back there and not just have empty buildings. And Toontown is amazing. I haven't actually been to Toontown in quite some time, so it'll be nice to go back to where everyone ran around as a kid and got to hang out with Mickey and the gang. But World of Color, bring that back. It's been gone for far too long. I've only seen it a couple times in person, so I definitely, when that comes back, I'll be making a trip out to California Adventure. So bring back World of Color, but it's just exciting to have all these new additions coming to Disneyland because Disneyland doesn't have a whole lot of room for them to either bring stuff back online or for them to renovate and redesign or reimagine. That's always very, very exciting. So, yay World of Color, yay everything else. Disneyland moving in the right path. That little grass area, I'm curious to see how that's going to go in the downtown Disney area because I've seen how the grass gets torn up in the Castle Hub by children and families. So hopefully it's artificial grass, not real grass in there, because I feel like real grass is going to get ruined really, really fast.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be some sort of astroturf, as they often like to do in those areas. But I'm looking forward to. Very much so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Downtown Disney get a bit of a facelift on that end. We've talked about this when they revealed the Destination D23 event, when they revealed that Downtown Disney was going to go under the knife here at the beginning of 2022. We were looking at that concept art, and it has a very Tomorrowland 1960s look to it. And what's strange to me, I believe I said this at that time too, is that the rest of downtown Disney doesn't look that way. No. And so it's very odd that they are going to be updating that end of things. And granted, I understand that the Disneyland Hotel is right next to it, but that they're going to be updating things on that end of downtown Disney to look so different from the rest of downtown Disney. I wonder what that's about.
I wonder if they're going to do similar to what Walt Disney World did, which is a complete reimagining of the area. It went from downtown Disney out at Walt Disney World to Disney Springs, which has a Florida motif to it. It has that, it has the Spanish roofs, very open air market sort of feel. So the downtown Disney reimagining looks very contemporary. So I wonder if they're going to do maybe like sort of like districts where you have, this is going to be like the hotel district and the rest is going to be, I don't know, the parks district, where they have two distinct looks, similar to having two lands with two different themes to it. Or maybe this is just the start of a complete overhaul reimagining. But then I worry if the redesign will clash with the beautiful building that is the Grand California Hotel, because the buildings around there match it a little bit more so. But if you throw in a bunch of grays and contemporary artwork and design, it's going to definitely clash with the warm wood color that is the Grand Californian.
And they spent the last 3 to 5 years overhauling the rest of downtown Disney to begin with aesthetically. So there's been a repainting overhaul. There's been an aesthetic upgrade to the region itself. So this just seems very unusual to suddenly throw this completely different mock-up of art into the mix of things and have the west end of downtown Disney look so dramatically different from the rest of downtown Disney. Again, unless they plan to do it for the entire thing. But at any rate, I'm excited to see new things being added to downtown Disney at that end, and very much looking forward to having Fantasmic back. That is such a spectacular, that is such an epic nighttime show on the rivers of America. It has been far too long since Fantasmic made its way into Norland Square.
Yeah, the superior Fantasmic, I should put out there. There is Fantasmic at Walt Disney World, but the one at Disneyland is far superior. The show and the pyrotechnics and the tech all around is just like it's incomparable, because it's like night and day almost. So Fantasmic coming back is amazing. If they ever brought up some kind of seating arrangement out there, that'd be amazing, but I doubt that. So until then, I'm willing to stand to watch Sorcerer Mickey show up on that roof and create magic.
And finally, something replacing the festival theater over there at the Fantasyland Theater, and having something move in to begin with is so nice. It's been dormant since Making the Magical Map sort of was shuttered just prior to the pandemic shutdown. And Making the Magical Map had a lot of entertainment problems. There were a lot of canceled performances throughout the day that was becoming quite common towards the end. They just had, I guess, maybe too many performers for the show, and too many critical aspects of the show that if they couldn't be delivered, they couldn't run the show. And it was being canceled several times a day, unfortunately. But now it sounds like what with the temporary appearance of Celebrate Gospel coming in there, and then also having on top of that the Lion King show, that's going to be awesome. Just having something going on back in that corner again. It's long overdue. It's an outside theater. They could have been doing stuff there this whole time, but they just chose not to. So it'd be really cool to see something happen at that giant Fantasyland theater once again.
Yeah. I haven't been to that theater very much, just because, like, in my childhood, they'd put the Hunchback of the Notre Dame show there, and I went there, and it was amazing, breathtaking. I actually never got to see Mickey and the Magical Map. And when I was in the park, it was like, yeah, like you said, there is no show. And I was like, this is sort of a letdown. But having Lion King there and having the gospel show there is going to be great. You can't beat the music of the Lion King. It's one of the best scored films and stories that Disney has ever put out. Hopefully they can do it with, say, a limited cast, such as like how you said that when there are like either performers that don't show up or there are critical features, they can still run the show sort of on, I guess, a B script. But putting something needs to go back there, because that's a very quiet area. A lot of people don't even know that the theater is there. You see it when you go on the railroad, you see it when you're coming to and from Toontown, but oftentimes you can walk past it without even noticing it's there, because a lot of people will see, oh, it's a small world. This is the end of the park. This is where it ends. Oh, there's a train and train station. But people sometimes believe that's the end of the park. And you look to the right of It's a Small World, and there's a gate where the parade floats come out of. So bringing an energy to this area of the park is much needed, and I really hope it has success, because Lion King is fantastic, and I know Disneyland can put on a great show when they have the means and ability to do it.
Fantasyland Theater, definitely a tucked away location. We turn it on over to all of you now. There's so much on the way at the Disneyland Resort for 2022 when it comes to entertainment and beyond. What are you most excited about? This is where you sound off. Let us know in the comments section, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube. Drop it in our live comments, or if you're watching on demand, make sure to leave that comment and share with us exactly what you are looking forward to the most coming to the Disneyland Resort in 2022. When we come back, Disneyland has covered up that Jessica Rabbit over there at the Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. We are going to take a look at what that ends up appearing like now after all of this time and all of the speculation, all the concept art. Now we know for sure exactly what she looks like in her newest realm, and that is as a detective. More Disney News Talk Live when we come back.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Lots of snow and icicles and magic.
Well, just keep dreaming, because dreams really do come true.
Oh, I love it when dreams come true. And I especially want this one to come true. Most of all.
Well then, keep on dreaming and believing, and you may be surprised. is a beautiful sight to behold. Keep on dreaming, for the best is yet to come.
Disney News Talk Live, thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast this weekend. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you drop us a like if you think we deserve it, or if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you are totally missing out. So much that we offer here on the Kingdom Report. New videos every week, whether it is our recent trek to the Christmas tree trail, the big Christmas tree stroll out at Disney Springs, or whether it is a little something more like all of the various storytellers, Santa storytellers out at EPCOT's Festival of the Holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got it all for you right here on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. And make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss an update whenever they have a new little something for you on this channel. You'll get updated and you won't have to do a thing. You'll just get that alert and you can jump on and take a look. All right, before the break, we asked, well, is there something on your mind when it comes to the 2022 schedule of things that are coming to the Disneyland Resort? Because there's a lot happening. Terry says, very excited for new Lion King show in Fantasyland. Missed the show during its short run in DCA. Also looking forward to a great Oogie Boogie Bash next year. Not sure if we'll repeat Merriest Nights. Huh. Interesting, Gared. I think that when it comes to Merriest Nights, it's not something I've heard a lot of people celebrating. Certainly it's the Christmas equivalent of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party out here at the Disneyland Resort on the West Coast, even though Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party isn't even happening on the East Coast this year. No. They've got the modified 50th version, but Merriest Nights here on the West Coast, not something I'm hearing a whole lot of people going crazy about.
Yeah, I haven't heard this. I haven't heard that either. It seems like people don't like these abbreviated, discounted versions of parties. They like the full-fledged thing where the park is filled, there's a lot of magic in the air, and it's a different experience than what you can get on a normal night. Huh, interesting. But Terry, I'm excited for the Lion King show as well. But yeah, Boogie Bash looks incredible. That looks amazing. Merriest Nights, not so much. Bring back the Very Merry Christmas Party. I know it's a different energy, especially out east in Walt Disney World. The Very Merry Christmas Party is just it's incredible. You have 180 degrees, if not 360-degree fireworks. You've got fantastic stage shows. You've got a great parade. You've got the coolest character meet and greets. Bring back the original full-fledged stuff, not this, I guess, shortened, abbreviated stuff. Bring back the originals, please.
Bring back the original. And yeah, looking forward to the Lion King show as well, Terry. And thank you, Terry and Dick Thompson, for allowing us the opportunity to experience the Oogie Boogie Bash this year. Those two, Terry and her husband, made it possible for the Kingdom Report to enjoy the Oogie Boogie Bash and be able to share it with all the viewers out there. So thank you once again, Terry. We are so in your debt. Also, Iceman chiming in saying, I'm always happy when Fantasmic is running. Amen to that. He also asks, is the Aladdin show still running at the Hyperion Theater in DCA? No. It went away a long time ago, Iceman. Yeah.
It was.
Gared's still mourning.
It was. Aladdin's my favorite Disney film. Genie, one of my favorite characters besides Gaston, and that show had everything. It had music, it had dance, it had comedy. I really hope they bring it back, or maybe since that whole area is sort of becoming a Marvel area, you can do the Rogers musical that they have in the show Hawkeye. If you haven't seen it, Hawkeye, go check it out. It's very comedic because Ant-Man is in it, even though he wasn't even in that part of the story in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But bringing back a show like Aladdin there would be fantastic. Frozen, it had its hiccups, but Aladdin was always it was always beating itself and doing better. Genie's jokes were always up to date with what was going on in the current entertainment climate, whether it's a joke about the Kardashians or about Dr. Phil or something like that. Aladdin just is amazing. Bring it back.
Yeah, I miss it too. And we heard from the Orange County Register that there's quite the prediction out there that the Frozen live at the Hyperion show that has been there since Aladdin will probably not be coming back, and that it will be something entirely different when the Hyperion Theater opens up again. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like the Frozen show probably still had a couple more years left in it, but maybe it will be entirely different. We will see. Terry says, why is it taking so long to get a show back in the Hyperion? Terry, I think
question.
I think it all has to do with the fact that, it's stuffing 2,500, 3,000 people into one building, the tight corridors behind the scenes with the crews and staff and where they need to work. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. It's the same thing with like all of the live entertainment that we've been seeing recently that is only recently being announced as coming back, and even that is modified. So little by little, it's trickling in. I agree. I feel like it should be here at this point, but I know that is one of the big holdouts. That is one of the big drops in the bucket when it comes to California Adventure and coming back, because it gobbles up, 2,500, 3,000 people at a time, and it makes a big difference in the park flow population. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. It's such a great location because it's not off in a corner. It's sort of in the middle off the side. And whether you're going into Hollywoodland or you're getting off of Tower of Terror at the time, now it's Guardians, you could see that there and you'd see people and you're like, man, what's going on there? I want to go there. So it was a great way of like just helping move your day along. When you add a show that fits that many people, it definitely helps bring down the wait times across the park and gives people something to do. If they aren't into, say, fast-paced attractions, they can do something relaxing like watching a fantastic show.
Hear, hear. And over in Disneyland Park, Jessica Rabbit has been covered up as the storyline change has come to Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. We've got the story behind it and Jessica's new look. Let's take a look. Brady McDonald of the Orange County Register writes that sexy cartoon actress turned private-eyed Jessica Rabbit has covered up her signature sparkly red dress with a detective's trench coat and fedora on a Toontown dark ride in the latest change to make Disneyland attractions more culturally relevant. Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin is the latest Disneyland attraction to undergo a major refresh to remove outdated and problematic scenes, joining Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash Mountain, and Jungle Cruise. The changes to Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin come as Walt Disney Imagineering reimagines Mickey's Toontown with new interactive play areas for young children as part of the launch of the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway dark ride at Disneyland in 2023. Mickey's Toontown will close in March for construction and won't reopen at the Anaheim theme park until sometime in 2023. Disneyland announced in September the Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin attraction would undergo a story change, with sexy starlet Jessica Rabbit taking over the lead role as a private detective. Roger Rabbit's Toon wife was removed from the Toontown ride while the attraction was updated. Jessica Rabbit quietly returned without fanfare to two show scenes in Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin on Wednesday, December the 8th. In her first scene, Jessica Rabbit can now be seen outside the Bulina China shop, stopping a Toon Patrol weasel from dumping a vat of cartoon erasing dip onto the Toontown streets. Previously, Jessica was tied up in the trunk of a car in a damsel in distress scene. Now the car trunk is filled with barrels of the paint thinner dip. In her second appearance, a sledgehammer-wielding Jessica Rabbit holds a captured weasel at bay in a scene that remains otherwise unchanged except for her attire. In both scenes, Jessica's yellow trench coat and fedora is reminiscent of a comic strip detective Dick Tracy's signature look, according to laughingplace.com. It's quite a storytelling stretch that Jessica Rabbit would trade her fabled acting career for a new gig as a private detective, according to Mice Chat, saying, quote, "Why would a well-known starlet suddenly change careers? For Disney, the change has two goals: covering up Jessica's large chest with a trench coat and removing her from the trunk of a car." Close quote. An attraction poster billed as an extra edition of Mickey's Toontown Times newspaper has been added to Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, explaining the ride's new backstory centered on Jessica Rabbit. Imagineering rebooted Cartoon Spin with a new female lead character and revamped backstory to make the Toontown attraction more culturally relevant. The updated Cartoon Spin storyline turns Jessica Rabbit into the newest private eye in Mickey's Toontown, on the lookout for Toon Patrol weasels responsible for a sharp rise in crime. Quote, Jessica Rabbit has determined it is past time for her to throw her fedora in the ring by starting her own private investigation service, according to the new Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin backstory. Watch out, weasels, they say. Your reign of terror is over. Disneyland's Cartoon Spin ride is based on the 1988 film Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in which the cartoon superstar is accused of murder and must turn to Detective Eddie Valiant to find the killer. Cartoon Spin riders hop in a taxi cab in a race through Toontown in search of Jessica Rabbit. The Cartoon Spin update comes as construction continues in Toontown on the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the trackless dark ride. Several Toontown eateries, meet and greet locations, and playground attractions remain closed since Disneyland reopened in late April after an extended coronavirus closure. Disney theme parks have pledged to integrate more diversity, inclusion, and relevancy into existing attractions and remove culturally outdated depictions. Imagineering removed several racially insensitive scenes from the Jungle Cruise ride and replaced them with comic scenes featuring animals and a new cast of culturally diverse characters as part of a major overhaul of the attraction. The Jungle Cruise attraction reopened in July after undergoing a major makeover to remove outdated cultural depictions and add a woman of color at the center of the revamped backstory of the attraction. Splash Mountain will soon go under the knife to introduce a new backstory based on the Princess and the Frog after removing the log ride's entire Song of the South theme, based on a movie Disney has long repudiated. The 2009 Princess and the Frog was celebrated as Disney's first animated depiction of an African-American princess. Disney used the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise as an opportunity to remove problematic scenes from the Disneyland ride that inspired the movies. Once again, thank you, Brady McDonald, for those words. Gared, big news. The Star Wars dinner theater that was supposed to be at Disneyland has now been repurposed for Walt Disney World. More specifically, it has been repurposed for the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. We're going to be jumping into that story right after the break. DailyNews.com reports a Star Wars dinner theater run by an interstellar pop star once planned for the Galaxy's Edge-themed land at Disneyland will become part of the new Galactic Starcruiser Hotel opening soon at Walt Disney World. Twi'lek singer and restaurateur Gaia will be the headline entertainer aboard the starship Halcyon when the new Star Wars hotel departs on its maiden voyage March 1st at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. Walt Disney Imagineering initially envisioned Gaia as an underworld boss who owned the Calicori Club restaurant and lounge next to Oga's Cantina in an abandoned concept created for the twin Star Wars Galaxy's Edge-themed lands in California and Florida. The Art of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge coffee table book includes more than 40 pieces of concept art created by Lucasfilm and Imagineering for the Calicori Club table service restaurant once conceived for Galaxy's Edge. Now Gaia is taking her act and restaurant to the stars aboard the Galactic Starcruiser, the pricey new Star Wars hotel conceived as an intergalactic cruise ship. Berths aboard the Halcyon start at roughly $5,000 per room for a 2-night stay. Disney has been teasing Gaia's appearance on the Halcyon during the recent Destination D23 event and the Wonderful World of Disney Magical Holiday Celebration television special. In one clip, Gaia sang a pop song with lyrics like "Change is coming" and "Welcome to the New World," suggesting storylines visitors might encounter once their experimental voyage begins aboard the Starship-themed hotel. Imagineers have hinted Gaia may also know a thing or two about Coxium, the Star Wars hyperfuel used on starships that plays a central role in the Rise of the Resistance attractions at Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios. Imagineering has been sprinkling Gaia-related Easter eggs throughout Galaxy's Edge, with the pop star's Ula Shuka song in regular rotation at Oga's Cantina. According to her backstory, Gaia is a mezzo-soprano with a funky, jazzy, neo-soul musical style. The Twi'lek singer hails from the Star Wars Outer Rim planet of Ryloth, home to a humanoid species distinguished by the Leku appendages protruding from their skulls. Concept art created for Gaia's dinner theater envisioned for Disneyland showed R5 astromech droids serving as cocktail servers while a backing band jammed with otherworldly instruments, according to the Art of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge book. Quote, "We had concepts for a Twi'lek club and Spice Den that were virtually the same thing," Imagineering managing story editor Margaret Carrison said in the book. The final name we came up with was the Calicori Club, which was our idea for the table service restaurant. It was an old bathhouse converted into a dining establishment, close quote. In the backstory created for the Calicori Club, the restaurant and lounge were owned by an underworld boss named Gaia. Quote, "The table service restaurant in concept is supposed to be almost a speakeasy, a hidden club," Imagineering creative portfolio executive Chris Beatty said in the book. "It is part of the underground world. It was owned by Twi'lek proprietor. She is also the performer there. And in early concepts, I think she was running the underworld. Then we ended up shifting that story. When this went away, the character storyline then shifted to Oga Gara. Gara owns Oga's Cantina and runs the underworld in Black Spire Outpost on the Star Wars planet of Batuu in the backstory created for Galaxy's Edge." Once again, thank you, DailyNews.com, for that story. And from a dining establishment that was originally set for Disneyland, now being brought aboard the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, comes this story from Blog Mickey about reservations for the Starcruiser. They write, following a statement from Disney CEO Bob Chapek that the first 4 months of voyages have virtually sold out for the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, more availability continues to pop up following guest cancellations as the pay-in-full deadline approaches. A look at availability from 2 days ago shows 3 dates were available in the first 3 months of operations. And then a day ago, there were now 5 voyages available to purchase, including 2 opening month dates. Guests are required to pay in full for their voyage 90 days before their sail date, which currently sits at March 8th, 2022. It looks like early bookings aren't necessarily transitioning to payments. Disney has recently revealed more about the experiences that guests can expect from their Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser voyage. However, not all of the sneak peeks of the luxury experience have been well received. Disney has recently pulled a YouTube video from their channel following widely negative comments. Once again, we appreciate blogmickey.com for that update. So now we know for sure when it comes to the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, not only does it have something that was meant for Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge, but it's also something that doesn't seem to be all that popular from the the promotional videos perspective, as it received just all kinds of hate online after that initially debuted, and Disney ended up pulling it down due to all of the backlash. This Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, Gared, now that it is getting so much closer and the reality is setting in that people gotta pay the full amount as mentioned in the story, people are now backing out of going and not fulfilling their reservation requirements. Do you think we're going to see a lot more of that?
With the trend that's being set, it looks like more and more people are going to be backing out, realizing maybe this isn't worth maybe we're not getting the bang for our buck, and so they're going to pull out. For the cost of a 2-night stay on this thing, you could easily go on a 3 to 7 day Disney cruise, an actual cruise on the ocean, and go to amazing ports versus LARPing in a hotel right across the street from Hollywood Studios. While the concept behind it is amazing, the original idea where Gaia was an underground gangster, that sounds way more entertaining. Like, you put that in Galaxy's Edge, then you get that whole thing that Disney was saying, like, oh, we're gonna have living characters where when you're in the land, you have these walking, talking, breathing characters. When are we gonna get that? I still want that to happen. I would love to see Twi'leks and the squid-headed people from Mon Calamari still walking around Galaxy's Edge, but I really hope that that the Galactic Starcruiser goes well, but with how it's going, it doesn't look, I don't know, it kind of looks like what you'd see on a Disney cruise in the kids section. Nothing all that crazy, like the lightsaber combat that we saw Josh Samaro do at Destination D23. While that was cool, it's just lasers and blocking. Hopefully there's more to it. Like, it'd be cool if it was like, hey, we're actually going to teach you how to duel with a lightsaber, and you'd see stunts and people running through lobbies, pushing you over. Like, I want to feel like I'm in that environment where I can actually get arrested and then I get smuggled out or something like that. But this Galactic Starcruiser, it just seems to be slipping and slipping. Like, when the idea came out, it was amazing. Now it's like, I'm not so sure about this whole ordeal.
Well, it's kind of like how Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was this really epic idea on paper, and then in all the concept art and all the things that they were presenting and showing us from coast to coast, saying, Disney's Hollywood Studios is going to have one, Disneyland's going to have one, it's going to be this phenomenal feat of Imagineering and architecture, and just imagine what it's going to be like. And then when we went to it for the first time, we realized that so much of what the concept art showed was going to be there wasn't there due to budget cuts and retracting of things. And unfortunately, this also is one of those things that was supposed to be there, this dining dinner theater that was going to be attached to or I guess on the backside of like Oga's Cantina. So to know that they took the dinner theater out, and I had heard this a couple years back as well, shortly after Galaxy's Edge opened. There's an expansion pad right behind the Disneyland version of Galaxy's Edge for the sake of growing the land eventually down the line, and trying to make a little something extra happen to the land. And I know that the plan was to have that dinner theater. I remember hearing that. So to not have an additional table service restaurant back there where it really is sort of an immersive experience and really over the top theming, I think that was a missed opportunity. We'll see if it hits all the right marks on the Galactic Starcruiser. But I'm really interested in terms of everybody that is listening, everyone that's watching. How popular do you think the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel will be? As mentioned in the story, we are already seeing the retraction of people wanting to go once the rubber meets the road and they now have to pay full price. People are backing out. People are not fulfilling their reservations. They are not going to move forward. And now there's all kinds of openings for that first month into 2 months. The first opening season is now no longer booked out like they originally thought. We're going to learn real quick, I think, if this is a total gold standard in the way hotels will be from now on, or if it's going to be a total flop. I think it'll be a week or two of reviews and people going to experience it for the first time, and then we'll know whether or not this is truly going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know if this will actually work out, because prices go 2,000 to 3,000, even higher depending on the package that you get for the Galactic Starcruiser. And if they do, like, have all these people pulling away, losing interest, they are either one going to have to change the entire story and redesign the entire thing. Disney's done it before. They did it with California Adventure compared to when it first opened to where it is now. It's had a massive several billion dollar overhaul to make it work. But for a hotel like this, where you can maybe get less than 100 rooms in here and still have this whole experience, it's got to fall through, or you're going to see them being like, hey, we actually have a special price for you tonight. If you book tonight and come in 3 days of $500 or $1,000. But right now, this is not looking as promising as it was promoted. Like, Disney's doing a good job of hyping it up. But it's just, it does not look like something that I would spend $2,000 on for 2 days. That's a lot of money for a 2-day experience that isn't living up to its potential.
Or may not live up to its potential. We don't know for sure. But I know that anytime something is entertainment heavy at the Disney company, it is the first thing that they go to when they need to make budget cuts. And the hotel being so entertainment heavy and being so layered with all kinds of various amounts of entertainment, whether it be creatures that happen to be walking through the hallways, or individual characters that you interact with from one place to another. It's a very entertainment heavy immersion, and I can imagine that this, along with the entertainment in the rest of the parks, like we have seen time and time again, the moment things get tough, the moment problems bubble up within the rest of the company and they look to cut in the parks, they immediately go for entertainment. And so I'm sure that they will throw plenty of money at this in its first year of operation. I'm more concerned about what it will look like after the fact, especially if it doesn't perform to what they think it's going to perform as, and be as popular as they imagine it to be. Because I believe that Disney is putting a lot of chips in this basket. They're believing that this is the future of hotel stays at Walt Disney World, and they are going to. We've even heard it from Bob Chapek that he believes, as the Disney CEO, that if and when this works, he's pretty convinced that it will, that this will be the future of hotel experiences at places like Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland, Hong Kong Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, all over the world. This is what they want to do more of. And I'm all for it if it's the right intellectual property and it's executed appropriately. And you feel like you're getting a tremendous amount of value for what you're paying, but it's really expensive for 2 days right off the bat. I would just assume that was going to scare everybody off to begin with. And look, now that the rubber's meeting the road and people have to pay fully, we're seeing people are like, I was thinking about it. I was excited about it. I'm not willing to front all that money though.
Here's a question for you. So 2 nights, $2,000. Would you rather do the Galactic Starcruiser or 1 night in the Castle Suite in Magic Kingdom? Which one sounds more enticing? Because I'd rather throw money and stay in Magic Kingdom and stay in that amazing suite.
Oh, hands down.
Then go LARPing with Star Wars. That's just what it is for me. Like, the merchandise that they're putting out and how they have special costumes you can only get on board to make you feel like you're a part of the story. That sounds amazing. And how they have, these characters that, they've got blue skin, like Admiral Thrawn, and you got a Twi'lek in there, but where are the Kit Fistas? Where are all these weird aliens? And yeah, you like you said, entertainment is the first to get cut. So you have to hope that this goes well, so that way that entertainment doesn't get cut. Because if not, this is just going to be an ugly stain on the Walt Disney World map of something that failed when it really could have succeeded, like Galaxy's Edge.
Like I said, I think we'll know if it sinks or swims really fast after it debuts. They are definitely pumping all kinds of PR behind it, as we've seen from the now deleted video.
Yeah.
They are doing their best to try and amplify the excitement around it. I drove past the location, the construction site itself. I mean, I guess at this point, it's no longer a construction site.
Yeah.
They're about ready to go. But that hotel property, the physical space of it, it's very small. It's very tiny. And I don't think a lot of people realize just how small it is by comparison of, you know, the mega hotels like you have everywhere else across Disney World property.
Yeah. If you don't know where it is, folks, it is right across from Hollywood Studios. If you're going to Magic Kingdom from, say, ESPN World of Sports, you can actually see it, and it's a gray building. It's not a crazy amount of land, and on the outside, it doesn't look like the Halcyon ship because it all happens on the inside. But it's not a big area, so I'm wondering if they either have parts of it being underground, or maybe they have areas that we can't see exactly from a guest perspective. I'm sure if you're a cast member, you can maybe see a little bit more since it's more towards the cast member parking lot, but it's a very small space. Wait, do you know if Disney's given the exact numbers of how many rooms they have available, or have they?
Yeah, I think that's out there. I just don't know it off the top of my head, but I know it's a really small footprint for a reason, and it's so that everybody gets that like truly immersive experience, so that they can cater to it's kind of like the cruise ship, you know, so that they can cater to absolutely everybody, so that the number of staff outpaces the number of people that are staying there, and so that, you know, it's like 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 in terms of employees versus guest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. When the vloggers do come out, unfortunately, I don't have the money to spend on something like this, so I will be watching other vloggers, and after they do it, I'll make my assessment of it. But it's on paper it sounds cool, but then when you see the videos, it makes you question just how immersive this experience is, because Galaxy's Edge, again, we got to go back to that because that's the closest thing that we can compare to this. I give it a C out of what they were promised us, where they said it was going to be this immersion, this really intense immersive experience, and it's just sort of another land where you have normal cast members saying, "Hey, bright suns, rising moons,
bright suns,"
and that's all there is to it. And you see Chewie and Rey, but like you don't see these aliens you're talking about. You see Kylo Ren, and you see the characters you see in the movies. I want some original aliens walking around. I want to be bumped and someone says something like Sebulba would say or something. I don't know how you make a Sebulba, but they can make a Sebulba.
100 cabins and suites is what it's clocking in at. So,
cabins and suites. Okay,
you know, it really is being kept at a minimum for the sake of, you know, the handful of guests that will be per room being able to be just completely taken care of and catered to, which is good for that price. I would expect that.
Yeah. 100 rooms. That's actually not that bad. I wouldn't be surprised if there were like 75 to almost 100, like probably a cast member to a room almost.
Yeah.
That sounds realistic. And for an area that big, 100 cast members and out of the 60 to 70,000 that Disney can employ at Walt Disney World is nothing in the grand scheme of it. You just have to hope that the IC holds up.
That's for sure. And now we turn it on over to all of you. How popular do you think the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel will be after now seeing that reservations are already being pulled from fruition and being pulled out of the mix-up for the sake of no longer paying the full price? Once the rubber meets the road and people had to pay the full deposit, or after the full deposit, now they are no longer interested. So how popular do you think it will be after the fact once it opens up? We are interested in your perspective as always, because this is a place where it's all about your opinions and your Disney Parks experience. When we come back, we will be taking a look at your comments when it comes to the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, and it turns out that EPCOT is going to be bringing back a favorite festival right at the beginning of 2022. More to come on Disney News Talk Live.
From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. merry little Christmas. Let the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are at the golden days, happy golden days of yore. Friends who want to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together. If the fates allow, hang a shining star upon the highest bough. A merry little Christmas now. Through the years, we all will be together. If the fates allow, hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Yourself a merry little Christmas starting now. Gotta have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
And we hope you are having yourself a merry little Christmas. Hi, everybody. Wait for the Kingdom Report here on Disney News Talk Live. Whether you are with us in the live version or you are watching on demand, we so thank you for being a part of this broadcast and for contributing, for sharing your thoughts, sharing your opinions, whether you are dropping comments in the live chat or you are leaving comments after the fact. It means so much that you are a part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we asked you just before the break when it comes to the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel out at Walt Disney World that is slowly coming online and will be a part of all of our lives here very soon. What you think about it? Do you think it's going to be popular? Do you think it's going to be something that's going to be a hit? Do you think it's going to flop? Valeria says it depends on what the people attend say about it after their experience. I agree. I think a lot of folks are going to be taking the wait and see approach. I think a lot of people are going to be hesitating to figure out whether or not this is something they should plunk down an awful lot of money for. In response to that, Anne says, I'm intrigued to see what the vloggers post, but it's so expensive. It would have to be pretty amazing for the cost. So, you know, exactly my sentiment.
Yeah, you can't have someone like ABC or Good Morning America go on there and talk about it because they work for the company, so they're only going to say they're good. They're not going to say like, oh, how it lacks. So vloggers and independent, journalists, they're going to be the ones that really make or break this experience, because of course you're gonna have some vloggers that are probably, hey, come out on behalf of Disney, but in your vlog you can only say good things. That always happens, but you get some other vlogger out there that says like, hey, I like this, I don't like this. That is really going to shape our perspective of it, and I look forward to seeing those vlogs come out. I'll probably be watching several different ones so that way I can see all the different angles of this experience.
And always keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that, even though I know many people in this community rely on vloggers for opinion and perspective, there's certainly the honest and the respectful way of giving your opinion about something. And then there's the hosted opinion.
Yes.
And what we mean by that is oftentimes Disney influencers and people in this sort of line of business are given an opportunity by Disney to often come into these spaces prior to the rest of the general public to heap praise on whatever it is that Disney's offering up. So in this case, the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. And with that, oftentimes they are completely comped the experience and provided over-the-top magic that maybe the typical guest wouldn't be presented. So it's very important that if you hear from a vlogger, if you hear from somebody that goes, it's very important that you listen to see if they say that they have been hosted or not, if they say that Disney invited them.
Yeah.
Those are cues to know whether or not it's something that Disney has completely fronted the bill for, in which case you might want to take the opinion and the perspective with a grain of salt, just because, when somebody gives you something for free, it's very hard to be critical and objective, especially when Disney is breathing down your neck and expecting you to make good on the fact that they gave you something for free.
Yeah, that is very, very true. So don't just do a one-stop shop for these vloggers. Try and watch a few of them, see if there is a sponsored one or if it's just someone, hey, I paid this out of pocket. Here we go. Here's my take.
Amen. Terry says, so far, we have zero interest in Star Wars Hotel Experience. Not at that price. Totally get it, Terry. It is really expensive, and even just for a trial, like, I'm not a big enough fan of the Star Wars brand to convince myself that this is something I even want to do just because it sounds cool or just because it sounds new and unique. I don't even have an interest in it from that perspective. I just don't. I don't have it in me to go, yeah, no, it's totally worth $2,000. Like, I just can't see myself
you can't
doing
justify
it.
$2,000. Like $2,000, that's a lot of money for some people. That is
For 2 days.
Yeah, that is multiple months of rent. That is bills and everything. So this is a very immersive and exclusive experience. But I'm interested in it. But I can justify my reason for not going based on the fact that kind of money is just too much for something like this, when I could go on a actual cruise or go to an international Disney park for several days for the same cost.
Or use that money and stay 7 days at Walt Disney World in a different hotel,
That too.
It matters. Yeah. Miss Pam says, can someone say Disney Institute? That went well. Disney Institute, for those that don't know, was the brainchild of Michael Eisner at the former site formerly at the site of Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort, right across from Disney Springs. That was a place where you could come and you could learn how to cook. You could learn how to do television. You could learn how to woodwork. And it was this idea that Michael Eisner had back in the 90s where basically on your vacation, you could learn a new vocation or trade, and you can experience things you would never experience back at home or anywhere else. And I remember watching it as a kid. I remember watching the Walt Disney World Inside Out on Disney Channel, where they gave you like the behind the scenes of Walt Disney World. And they would often go to the Disney Institute to promote it. And I used to think, like, what adult wants to go work while they're on vacation? It just seems like that's what they're doing. It seems like they're going and putting in extra work and extra effort into something where, I don't know, wouldn't they rather be by a pool? Wouldn't they rather be relaxing? This all seems like community college.
Nothing says vacation quite like learning how to woodwork and how to cook. You go on vacation so you don't have to cook unless you really, really want to. But then it's, I can't imagine that working out well. Like when I read Disney Institute, I'm thinking, I don't even know what that is. Now I know it's that age. It's from the Eisner era.
Yeah, and the Disney Institute was reborn later as a Walt Disney Company initiative, where now they charge other companies to come see how Disney leads and how Disney does things. So now it's more of a business front for businesses rather than a vacation getaway learning experience. So it's very interesting.
I like that. I like that because if I was a company, I'd want to learn how Disney does it. And if it was, hey, you and your company come out here, that sounds like a fun work vacation, not a, hey, I'm spending time with my family. Guys, I got to leave. You go have fun at Magic Kingdom. I'm going to go learn how to cook a filet mignon properly.
Clips fan says, due to the price, I don't think it will be popular with most guests. I see it being more popular with diehard Star Wars fans. Absolutely, Clips fan, but are there enough out there to sustain this thing year round? That's my fear. I get it, it's only 100 rooms, but at the same time, if this thing falls on its face in the beginning and doesn't necessarily pick up the traction for the general public, are there enough diehard Star Wars fans out there where this place is going to be at full occupancy and not the victim of budget cuts a year out?
Yeah. Star Wars fans, we're all I think most of us here can agree that we're Star Wars fans. We love it. It's a great brand. It has great stories, great characters. But for there to be enough Star Wars fans that are like, I will spend my life savings on this, I don't think they can do that year round. Disney is, if this doesn't do well with normal guests, Disney is going to be going after those guests that are in that, I guess, upper price range pack and say like, hey, you guys have spent so much with us being a part of DVC. Why don't you come out and enjoy this? Use some of your DVC points or something. But the popularity with people canceling reservations because now they're asking for the full price tag, it's driving people away, and we just have to see how it goes when it does open.
And you had mentioned just before the break about, would you rather spend all this money on a night stay inside Cinderella Castle, or would you rather spend it in the total immersion of the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser? Valeria says, one night in the castle for her. Yeah, one night in the castle over there.
Castle.
Clip says, I second that. One night in the castle. So it looks like people are weighing in with their thoughts on, yes, please send me to the castle. That sounds like it would be fun.
Like that, just seeing videos and pictures of that castle suite is just amazing. So I'd probably go castle too.
And Xavier says, I can't wait for a Star Wars hotel. Well, that's great. It's nice to finally see somebody on that end.
Yeah.
A diehard fan that's excited about it. I'm excited about the possibilities as to what it could bring for the sake of immersive hotels in the future, because there are a lot of really great franchises. There are a lot of really great intellectual property things that they could do with this style and this concept. And, that excites me more than anything. I'm just not a Star Wars guy. So I think, kind of misses me as the core demographic, but I'm more excited about what the future will be like if this ends up being a success.
Oh, the future could be amazing, whether it is other hotels like this or even doing something as far as setting up like these are Disney immersion escape rooms where you get to go into the Indiana Jones version, but rather than a room, it's like a warehouse full of like the set of Indiana Jones. You have to solve puzzles. There is definitely a future if this goes well, whether it's Marvel, Indiana Jones, Disney Princess, Pirates of the Caribbean. Can we get Pirates of the Caribbean? Let's do that.
Stay in a pirate ship.
I like pirate ships. Who doesn't want to be a pirate? Everyone likes to be a pirate.
Yes, please. Yep, make me a pirate. Thomas says, one night in the Castle Suite at Disney World or the former Dream Suite of Pirates in Disneyland. Oh. Yes. I remember, Thomas, a couple years ago, Disney Vacation Club was polling its members asking if they would like the opportunity to use their points to stay either in the Castle Suite or in the Suite of Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. They're going to open it up to the public. And then that never happened. The Castle Suite is now used for VIPs, and the Disneyland Dream Suite is utilized more as like a waiting area for the new upcharge dinner experience on the backside of Club 33. So it's really sad. They put all this money into the Dream Suite and the Castle Suite over the course of several years to make it what it ended up becoming for the Year of a Million Dreams, as a place you could win a night stay in for the sake of every night throughout the year. You were able to stay the night in Disneyland. You were able to stay the night in Disney World. And then after that, it was like they didn't know what to do with the things. And they weren't sure how to utilize these assets anymore. So yeah, I agree, Thomas. I think it would be really awesome to be able to stay in either of those, and just even to have the option. Granted, it would probably be booked out, a year or two in advance, but it would be so cool if people had that option.
Yeah, to wake up at 6 a.m. and see the sunrise in the park and no one's there would be just amazing. Or walk around the park for a few hours quiet and see the characters come out or do something. It would be really amazing. Like, there's something about staying in a theme park and just having the magic be around you versus being at a hotel and seeing the parks from afar. It's a different experience.
With your bathrobe and your slippers, walking through the park at 6 a.m. with your cup of coffee, something that as a member of the Disneyland Dream Suite concierge team, which I was for a brief period of time during its history while it was open to guests, I was able to be a part of the families that went out into the park late night. We would do a 2 a.m. or a 3 a.m. walk of Disneyland with them in their robes and in their slippers, and we would take pictures of them. It's quite the memorable visit when they won during the Year of a Million Dreams, and we would walk throughout the park, and I'd let them get on the King Arthur carousel carousel inside Fantasyland, and they'd all be on different horses, and we'd be taking photos of them in that capacity. And it was always so much fun. We had such a great time being able to do that. I think, opening this up to guests would be such a neat thing to do. Tony says, I don't think it will land with Star Wars fans, as they are primarily the ones leaving negative feedback on the previews, citing what they've seen so far as being both cheap looking and not authentic. Interesting, Tony.
Yeah, I get what he's going by, because I've seen some memes where it's like Disney's solution to creating aliens is grab a human, put them in a different colored face, maybe put some design on their forehead, and then give them some cool name, and boom, you've got these new cool characters, when in fact it does kind of look cheap versus what you'd see on TV, which is more authentic because it's really taken the time. When I saw the video of the Halcyon Bridge, it kind of looked very similar to what you see at Mission Space and Epcot, where it's like, oh, press some buttons, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like Smuggler's Run, even though it has mixed reviews, walking into the deck and being in the pilot seat and seeing all those buttons is really, really cool. But when you see 18 kids can pilot this thing, it's like, what? No, there aren't 18 captains on a spaceship. There's one captain. You're engineering. You just press a button to fix the toilet or something. So it's gonna be weird to see how this goes, or maybe they only allow one family at a time, so that way it is just you are the captain, so to speak.
And Tony, if you lose the diehards this early, can you imagine what that means for the success of this major investment for Disney? And Nolster says it might be worth it if it was the original trilogy Star Wars, the world, Tatooine, Death Star, etc. This isn't Star Wars to me. It's a weird amalgamation of Star Trek, Star Wars, and generic space.
Yeah, I see how that's going on, where the original trilogy, or even you go to the prequels, those worlds are just so iconic with fans, because a lot of us that can possibly go on this grew up with those worlds. Imagine if they had a hotel that would stay on the Death Star. I don't know if I'd say that because it blows up. Spoiler alert. But something like going to Tatooine, or even going to Endor, or some other great place would be really, really cool. Can we go to Mustafar? I want lava everywhere. But yeah, I can see how it does have Star Trek, Star Wars, and just space, but we will have to just wait and see. That is going to be the term to live by for this experience.
We have somebody from the dark side among us. Xavier is admitting that he likes to be in the dark side.
I like it. The dark side has cookies. Everyone knows that.
That's for sure. Well, thank you all for weighing in on the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel and your thoughts on whether or not it's going to be a success, whether or not it's going to be popular after it arrives and officially launches. Hey, wanted to chat with you all about a great story, and that is we have ourselves a festival returning to Epcot. Yes, we do. From clickorlando.com, they report that Walt Disney World shared new details Tuesday about the upcoming Epcot International Festival of the Arts. The celebration mixes visual, culinary, and performing arts from around the world into an entertaining blend that's fun for the entire family. Disney said on its blog that it's introducing a number of new things for the festival, including new food studios, Deco Delights, and the Craftsman's Courtyard. Guests will see work from more than 100 Disney and visiting artists spread all the way out across the theme park, with pieces available to purchase. Guests will also get the opportunity to participate in a number of interactive experiences, such as a larger-than-life paint-by-number mural, or learning to draw some Disney characters at the Chalk Art Galleries and Animation Academy. Disney said that the wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine will be returning this year to World Showcase. Once guests have purchased and received a stamp for all 5 items in the festival passport, they'll earn a delectable artist palette cookie. Gared cookie, Disney described on its blog. You love your cookies. At America Gardens Theater, the popular Disney on Broadway concert series is returning with 3 shows each evening, headlined by Broadway stars performing beloved songs from more than 25 years of award-winning stage productions. Beginning December 14th, guests can visit a specific link over at the Walt Disney World website to find out more about the Disney on Broadway dining packages that pair with this memorable concert series. The popular character Figment is also returning to be the star of this year's festival merchandise, including apparel, accessories, trading, and more. The Epcot International Festival of the Arts is free with admission and runs through February the 21st. You know, it is one of my favorite and I think the most underrated of all of the festivals each year. And I know you're a big fan of it too, right, Gared?
Yeah, it's in my top two. It goes back and forth between Festival of the Arts and Flower and Garden, but I think it's a great way of starting off the year. It's colorful, it's bright, it brings you in. It's got artwork from everything, whether it's characters, Star Wars, Marvel. It's got everything, and it's great for the time of year. It's crisp and cool in the air, but it's not quite springtime yet. Um, it's an amazing festival, and the food is great, and the cookies. It looks like a paint palette, and you even get a paintbrush that the cookie, man, you can't beat that cookie.
To get a cookie in the mix of all of this. And last year you were a beautiful butterfly, if I recall correctly.
I was, yes. They had a wall around the area that's soon to become the Moana experience at Epcot, and they had different butterflies, and I became a butterfly, and I was beautiful. I was a beautiful butterfly, like my man Heimlich in It's a Bug's Life.
Hear, hear. Who doesn't love being a beautiful butterfly? Yeah, it's one of my absolute favorite festivals of the year. I think, like I said, it's so underrated. The Festival of the Holidays at Epcot going on right now, that one is very short. I feel like all the rest of them are significantly longer. I always feel, though, like, the Festival of the Holidays, it's popular because the most amount of people happen to be at Disney World during that time. And so the most amount of people get to experience it for the most part in terms of like a quick shot of capacity. But then you move into January, February, where it really is sleepy time at Walt Disney World. And the Festival of the Arts is such a great way to revive things and make it fun and fresh.
Oh, absolutely. It's the new year. It adds a little bit of color, literally, by adding these amazing things. And then they also have the Broadway shows coming back as well, which just adds an energy when you can hear these amazing Broadway performers singing across the waters from the American Theater And yeah, January is a quiet time there, especially January, February. That's when people are back in school. They've done their holiday vacationing, but this, I think, is
they're in debt.
Yeah, they're in debt. We've just been $2,000 on a Galactic Starcruiser experience. But yeah, Festival of the Arts. If you have not experienced it, folks, be sure to check it out. It's different. The crowds are lighter. The art is phenomenal, and the food is delectable. They do some crazy designs, whether it's making a cake look like it's in a comic book. But Festival of the Arts definitely has a special place in my heart, and it's nice to walk around Epcot and just enjoy all the beauty that's there. And then you slowly see the colorful flowers coming in because Flower and Garden's right around the corner.
And also the presentation of the food at the food studio booths is the prettiest and most beautiful of presentations as well, because it's all meant to be artistic, right? It's all meant to be artsy. And so everything during this festival is like an Instagrammer's dream. You got to do it for the gram. You got to love yourself some social media clips here when you go out to the Festival of the Arts, because this is where you have all of those overblown backdrops and all of those, like mega props that you get to utilize. You also get to be a part of different artwork, which I always have a lot of fun doing. I love this festival. I'm so glad it's coming back.
I personally love becoming the Birth of Venus. That's one of my favorites. Or Washington Across the Potomac. Those are the two that always tend to stand out. But I know a lot of people love the Frida Kahlo, and they just adding those out there are just really, really fun. It's different, where you get to be living art pretty much. I also like how in certain countries they will add the characters there, such as Little Brother from Mulan. He'll be on a wall in the China Pavilion, or you'll have a troll or something hidden inside of Norway. They do like these little sort of hide and go seek character drawings inside of each of the pavilions that you have to go to. So it's a playful it's a playful festival, to say the least.
Let us know if you are planning to make your way out to Epcot for the 2022 Festival of the Arts, that big international festival that is so much fun and always a very photogenic festival to be a part of. Before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, we like to reward you for being a part of this show. All you got to do is leave the comment underneath this very video. It's got to be on our YouTube channel. It has to be after the live show ends. You can leave a comment underneath this video. The phrase that pays this week in order to get your own Kingdom Report mug is Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge is what you need to leave in the comment section underneath this very video on YouTube. You have until now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you, let you know that you've got a mug coming your way, but you do have to leave the phrase that pays. So Uncle Scrooge underneath this video on our YouTube channel between now and Monday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. You too could be a big ol' winner with the Kingdom Report Live mug giveaway.
Humbug.
It means so much. You know what? Humbug. That's what Scrooge is all about. Dirty humbug.
That's
Gared,
right.
before we get scooting on out, any last words?
No, just happy holidays, everyone. Hope you're being healthy and safe, and you're having a great one, and that you are not waiting until last second to do some holiday shopping, because I know everyone's like, oh, I've got time, but you don't realize how fast the holidays go faster than any other time of the year. I don't know what it is. Like, if it's like, March, it slows down, but then it's like, oh, Christmas is next week. No, it's actually tomorrow. So get your shopping done. Get some cool stuff. You can't go wrong with Disney gifts. Everyone loves Disney gifts. But if you're going to the parks, have fun, take some pictures, share it with us. Maybe we'll run into you there. You never know. It's a small world after all.
And Gared, before we leave, I think it's important that we light the Magic Kingdom Town Square Christmas tree. What do you think?
Oh yeah, let's see if let's do a take two. Let's see if we can light it.
Let's light the Magic Kingdom Christmas tree at Walt Disney World. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. Join us as we light this tree together.
Everyone please say Happy Holidays. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy Holidays. And a very merry evening to one and all.
I'm beginning to think, Gared. Gared, I'm beginning to think you didn't say Happy Holidays.
I did. With everything, I wanted there to be more light, and I even got closer to my screen to look, and I saw 4 little bulbs turn on, and man, oh man, that is just the epitome of impressive, if I do say so myself. I like how afterward there's a dramatic pause and a happy holiday evening to you, almost like it's, man, that was really bad. Let's just have people leave now. It's not like happy holidays, everyone, go enjoy the rest of your evening. No, it's like, and deuces, we're out of here.
Yeah. It's it's an unfortunate way to celebrate such an important holiday. To light up such a critical tree too. It's the Magic Kingdom's Christmas tree, and to do it,
it's almost as famous as the Rockefeller Center tree. It really is.
Right. And to do it before the sun is even down, to do it before you can even see it with the naked eye. I will never ever get tired of seeing that video and knowing that I got to experience that firsthand. Happy holidays, everyone. Makes a big difference. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that again over and over, and each
best.
time I'm gonna hope it gets better with each watching, but I know it won't.
Well, I knew we had to light the tree before we got out of here, or at least act like we lit the tree. And I really do think it's because you didn't say Happy Holidays. So
I'll step it up next time. I apologize, everyone. It's because of me.
I didn't hear you, so I think that's what it was. Terry, thank you so much. It was great having you as part of the broadcast. Xavier, thank you very much for being a part of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see our ugly mugs on camera next week with the return of Kingdom Report Live from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni will be joining me there for an all-new broadcast. So for those of you that are holdouts for that show, I understand there is quite the contingent of you that demand to see that show on Saturdays. So don't you worry, we'll be returning, and yes, we will have many, many more to come. But for this broadcast and for Mr. Gared Hassel, I want to say thank you all for being a part of today's show. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for leaving comments underneath this very video, and we wish you a very prosperous Christmas, a wonderful holiday season, a great new year, and we will see you real soon.